Heartwarming moment, young girl aids elderly woman uncovering a life-changing billionaire secret. In the small Midwestern town of Maplewood, where family values were as solid as the brick houses lining the streets, 10-year-old Lily Thompson was known for her contagious spirit. Every afternoon, after school, she would hop on her bike, a bright purple thing with training wheels barely outgrown, and pedal her way to the community center. There, she gathered all kinds of luck, helping to serve meals, organize supply drives, and play games with the kids who came in from the neighborhood. One sunny Thursday, as she joyfully rode home, the scent of freshly baked cookies from Mrs. Murphy's bakery wafted through the air, sending her into a daydream. Suddenly, she spotted Mrs. Thompson, a frail, silver-haired woman from 2 streets over, struggling with a bag of groceries that seemed just a bit too heavy. Without a second thought, Lily screeched to a halt, her heart racing with purpose. "Mrs. Thompson, let me help you." The old woman looked up, her face lighting up, crinkled with surprise and gratitude. "Thank you, dear. You're such a darling." As Lily easily lifted the bag, she felt a rush of warmth. The weight of the groceries reminded her of the weight of kindness, a strong, effortless bond between neighbors. Once they reached Mrs. Thompson's porch, she invited her inside for tea. The small kitchen filled with the comforting aroma of chamomile and sweet cinnamon cookies. They sat at the round table, steam rising between them, and Mrs. Thompson began sharing stories. With every sip of tea, Lily learned of resilience, of dreams once woven tightly into the fabric of their town. Mrs. Thompson's laughter echoed as she spoke of her late husband, a man with an unquenchable thirst for community upliftment. "Lily, you know," she said, her eyes sparkling, "your grandpa always believed in the power of one person to make a change." With each tale, the spark ignited within Lily, fanning the flames of ambition. She learned her town was struggling, facing hard times that clung to the air like humidity in July. As her heart raced with ideas, she felt a deeper yearning. "We can revive Maplewood," she exclaimed, while chewing on a cookie, bits of chocolate staining her cheeks. But not everyone shared her excitement. At home, Lily's parents were consumed by their own worries. "We need stability right now, Lily," her dad would say, shaking his head at her ambitious dreams. Torn between loyalty to her family and her fiery desire to make a difference, Lily moved forward, each bike ride to the community center becoming a mission. Just as she crafted plans for a fundraiser to honor Mr. Thompson's legacy, tragedy struck. A local shop closed down, sending ripples of despair throughout Maplewood. Tension mounted as neighbors exchanged glances filled with uncertainty. Would anyone have the heart to step up? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As whispers filled the air about their town's future, a fascinating truth unfolded. Mrs. Thompson, now brimming with emotion, revealed her husband had been a hidden philanthropist, a man of wealth who devoted his life to uplifting his community. The news spread, igniting renewed hope in Maplewood. But just as everything began to feel golden again, another shadow loomed. Secrets began to surface. Could Lily find the strength to face what came next with her community by her side? The bond she had begun to forge with Mrs. Thompson and with her neighbors was about to be tested in ways she never imagined. What was the true cost of progress in the face of unexpected revelations? The sun dipped lower on the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink as Lily pedaled furiously towards the community center. The buzz from Mrs. Thompson's revelation echoed in her head. A hidden philanthropist, a treasure buried in Maplewood's past. Dreams of bettering her town surged through her veins like electricity. What if she could revive the dreams of this community? As she arrived, Lily saw familiar faces. Kids were playing tag, laughter mingling with the cries of seagulls overhead. But she also noticed a hint of tension in the air. Parents whispered in hushed tones, concern etched into their brows. It was hard to ignore the store signs hanging with closed in big red letters. "Hey, Lily!" shouted Sam, her best friend, running over. "Did you hear about the closing of Jones Market? People are freaking out. You think Mrs. Thompson's husband can do something?" Lily hesitated, her mind racing. She had only heard fractions of the man's legacy. Was there a chance to leverage his hidden wealth, or even inspire donations from the community to ally against the gloom? "I think so, Sam," she said, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "But we need to act fast. We have to show everyone that together, we can make a difference." The idea struck her like a bolt of lightning. With her friends gathered, she proposed an afternoon event, a fundraiser, yes, but also an awakening. "Let's bring the town together for a Maplewood Revival Festival," she exclaimed, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. "We'll have games, food, a bake sale, and stories. Everyone can contribute." Sam's excitement mirrored Lily's. "We can ask the shop owners to chip in, too. A percentage of what they make can go to helping the town." As plans began to take shape, Lily felt the gooey warmth of hope wrapping around her heart. The revival was more than just a festival, it was a chance to reignite a sense of purpose in Maplewood. But lingering doubts nudged at her. How could they overcome the negativity? How would they convince others to believe in the revival? Later that evening, Lily sat at her kitchen table, armed with markers and construction paper. She poured her heart into posters, crafting a vibrant invitation that mirrored her growing determination. It didn't take long before her fingers were covered in ink. Just as she paused to admire her work, her parents walked in, worry still visible in their expressions as they settled into chairs across from her. "What's all this, Lily?" her mom asked, pointing at the colorful mess. "This is the Maplewood Revival Festival. We'll raise funds to support our community," she said, trying to keep her voice steady against their skepticism. Her dad shook his head. "I appreciate your spirit, but it's a lot to tackle right now. Can't you just be a kid and focus on your studies?" A lump formed in Lily's throat. "Dad, if we don't try, who will?" Silence hung in the air, heavy enough to suffocate. She could feel the tension ripple between them, her dad's worry pressing against her resolve. Would they ever see things her way? Would the townsfolk rally behind her? Suddenly, her heart raced with a new thought. What if Mrs. Thompson spoke at the festival? She could tell stories about her husband, lifting spirits and igniting the town's forgotten hopes. Would it work magic, or only raise more doubts? As she nibbled nervously on a cookie from the counter, the reality of what lay ahead settled over her like a thick fog. But Lily couldn't shake the burning hope deep inside her. Could she lead Maplewood back to brighter days? Determined but anxious, she reached for her phone. "Mrs. Thompson? Can we talk?" In that moment, Lily felt the stirring winds of change. What would they discover together? And in the shadows of uncertainty, would she become the heart the community needed? Lily's heart raced as she dialed Mrs. Thompson's number. The phone rang and each beep felt like a drumbeat in her chest. Finally, the familiar voice crackled through the receiver. "Hello? Mrs. Thompson. It's Lily. I need your help with something big," she said, her voice brimming with urgency. "What's going on, dear?" "I'm organizing the Maplewood Revival Festival to help our town. Your stories about Mr. Thompson could inspire everyone. I just know it." There was a pause on the other side. "You really think that could help?" "Yes. It could remind people of the love and hope he gave to Maplewood. We could use that." Mrs. Thompson's voice softened. "I suppose I could. But dear, your heart is in the right place. Just be prepared, some memories are bittersweet." Lily swallowed hard. "I understand, but I believe the town needs this. We all need to feel connected again." After they hung up, a sense of quiet exhilaration washed over her. Maybe this was the key to shining light in the gloom that had settled over Maplewood. The next few days turned into a flurry of activity. Posters scattered across town, children helping Lily paint signs, and families discussing what they could bring to the festival. The excitement began to spread like wildfire. Yet, in the back of her mind, doubts still waited their turn. The day of the festival finally arrived, bright and breezy, with the sun shining like a generous spotlight. The community center buzzed with energy. Market stalls lined the walkways filled with baked goods and handmade crafts. Laughter spilled from games set up on the grassy lawn. But as the crowd thickened, Lily's pulse quickened. This was it. This was her moment to make a difference, to weave energy back into the fabric of their town. She stood up on a small makeshift stage, taking a deep breath to steady her nerves. "Thank you all for coming," she called out, her voice shaking but determined. "Today is not just about raising money for our community, it's about reigniting our spirit. We're a family here, and together, we can face this rough time." Cheers erupted, mingling with appreciative claps. The energy felt electric, fueling her words. "Now, I have the honor of introducing someone who has a wonderful connection to our beloved Maplewood. Mrs. Thompson." Applause replaced the chatter as Mrs. Thompson made her way to the stage. Lily felt a swell of anticipation. Would this be the spark they all needed? Mrs. Thompson took the microphone, her fingers trembling slightly. "Thank you, Lily. Many of you knew my husband. He believed in community, it was everything to him. When the times were tough, he would say, a community that stands together can weather any storm." Lily's heart squeezed as she watched the older woman's expression shift between sorrow and warmth. "And even though he isn't here in person, his spirit lives on in each of you," Mrs. Thompson continued. "His legacy isn't only in what he left behind, but in the love and support that you give each other. Together, let us keep Maplewood alive." Once again, cheers filled the air and Lily felt her hopes soar. But just as she felt like the moment was theirs, she caught sight of someone lurking at the edge of the festival, a man dressed in an expensive suit, watching intently from the shadows. Lily's heart skipped a beat. Who was he? What did he want? As her eyes met his, something stirred within her. Could he hold answers that were yet undiscovered? Determined to find out, she started weaving her way through the crowd, making her way toward the stranger. What secrets might he hold about Maplewood's past? And could he be the key to their future? The closer Lily got, the more she felt the weight of the stranger's gaze on her. His dark suit felt out of place amid the colorful festival atmosphere, and an unsettling tension curled in her stomach. She brushed past smiling faces, distracted by the laughter and chatter of her neighbors. But the man remained fixed on her, a mystery waiting to be unraveled. "Excuse me," she said, sidestepping a cluster of children playing tag. The vibrant colors and cheerful sounds faded as she focused intently on the stranger. She reached the edge of the festivities, breathless with anticipation. "Can I help you?" Lily asked, her voice steady but laced with curiosity. He studied her for a moment, his expression unreadable. "I believe you're the one who called for change in Maplewood," he replied, his voice smooth but cold, as if he was weighing every word. "Yes, I'm Lily," she said, fighting back the urge to shuffle her feet. "I organized this festival to bring our community together." His lips curled into a slight smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "I know. I've been watching. You have a passionate spirit and a lot of moxie." Lily blinked. She didn't know if to take that as a compliment or a critique. "Thank you. I think?" She felt the burn of skepticism rising but chose to keep her composure. "I'm Jack," he said, his tone shifting to something softer. "I'm here because I believe in this town too. It has potential, untapped potential." Her heart raced again, but this time it was from interest. "What do you mean?" "I grew up here, long ago," he explained, glancing around the festival like he was searching for a long-forgotten piece of himself. Things have changed, but they don't have to. I'm back to revive the spirit of Maplewood, just like you. Revive it? How? Jack took a step closer, lowering his voice. I have ways to support this community. You've sparked something today, but I can help you take it further. We can make this festival the foundation for much more. An electric thrill rushed through her. Could this be the relief Maplewood had been waiting for? But doubt crept in as quickly as hope welled up. There was something about the way he spoke that felt too good to be true. What's the catch? She asked, narrowing her eyes. He hesitated, clearly taken aback by her bluntness. No catch. Just an opportunity. You're ambitious, Lily. That kind of fire doesn't come along every day. She was flattered yet cautious. And what do you expect in return? Jack met her gaze, sincerity flickering behind his eyes. Nothing but partnership. I want to see this town thrive. I want our home to flourish again. So, tell me, are you in? Murmurs of excitement were drifting throughout the festival, but all Lily could hear was the pounding of her heart. Was she ready to risk it all on a stranger's promise? She thought of her neighbors, of Mrs. Thompson's aching smile, and the glimmers of joy sparking outside. As she opened her mouth, but the words caught in her throat. Before she could decide, the festival erupted in applause again. The crowd had begun to gather for a performance, laughter bubbling up like champagne. I think you have a decision to make, Lily. Jack's voice cut through the noise, firm yet encouraging. This could change everything. Her heart was torn. She felt the weight of Maplewood resting on her shoulders. I need to think, she finally replied. Of course, he nodded, stepping back. But remember, opportunities don't wait forever. As he turned away, her mind churned. She knew that this encounter could mark a turning point for Maplewood. But would it lead to hope or disaster? Did she dare to take the leap, or was she risking everything they had built? With her heart racing, Lily glanced back at the stage. The cheers filled her, urging her to make a choice. But before she could move, she spotted Mrs. Thompson watching from a distance, her expression uncertain. What if this was the moment she dreaded, the turning point that could shatter everything? The festival buzzed around her, and she felt the pulse of possibility. But could she trust a man with a hidden past? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, the shadows grew longer around her. Lily's choice loomed ahead like a fading light. The promise of a new beginning teased her courage. And as she took a deep breath, her heart whispered, what if this time, hope didn't just flicker but burned bright? What would she do next? The festival continued to pulse with energy as Lily's mind swirled with questions. The laughter of children, the sweet aroma of caramel apples, and the vibrant decorations began to blur. Every sound felt muted, every color dulled, now just a backdrop to her inner turmoil. Jack was still near, conversing quietly with some locals, his presence a reassurance to the festival's spirit, a spirit she had fought for. She watched him, the way he spoke, gesturing animatedly, drawing people in with that inexplicable charm. Was he genuine? Or was this the smooth facade of someone looking to capitalize on their small-town struggles? With every heartbeat, the weight of her decision pressed harder on her chest. Could she risk Maplewood's future on the word of a man she just met? This festival was her creation, a spark to uplift the town's weary heart. Would she hand that over to Jack? As she contemplated, Mrs. Thompson approached, her kind face framed by the ribbons in her hair. Lily, dear, you look worried, she noted, her eyes twinkling with the warmth of love and concern. I'm just Lily hesitated, trying to grasp at the right words. I'm deciding what to do about Jack and what he's offering. Ah, Jack, Mrs. Thompson sighed softly, glancing in his direction. I remember that name. When I was a girl, he was a bright-eyed boy with dreams bigger than Maplewood itself. But remember, sometimes people come back changed. Changed how? People often get lost, dear, she said gently, her voice like a comforting shawl. What's in your heart is important. Listen to it. You have brought so much joy with this festival. You know what this town needs more than anyone. Lily felt a surge of gratitude swell within her. What if he has the resources we've been needing to move forward? The thought hung in the air, shimmering with possibility. Mrs. Thompson grasped Lily's hands, her weathered grip both steady and reassuring. And what if he's a wolf in sheep's clothing? Change can come from the inside. Community grows stronger amongst its own. Think about who you trust. Just then, a distant cheer erupted around the stage as a local band began to play, the lively music pulling the crowd back into the moment. Lily glanced towards the sound, seeing families sway and dance, their spirits lifted. This was the kind of life she wanted for Maplewood, authentic, together, resilient. I'll catch up, she said suddenly, a thought sparking in her mind. Can you help me with something? With a nod, Mrs. Thompson accompanied her across the crowd, weaving through joyful faces and festive booths until they reached the community message board, nestled among bright flowers. Lily hurriedly scribbled a note, sharing her desire to gather a small group of trusted friends and neighbors to discuss Jack's proposal. What do you think? Is it too hasty? She asked, her voice a mere whisper above the music. Mrs. Thompson smiled, a gleam in her eye. It's not hasty, it's smart. You lead your community, Lily. Share your doubts, your excitement. You won't have to make the decision alone. As they posted the note, Lily felt a spark of hope that had dimmed earlier start to glow again. It was a chance to bring the community into the fold and allow their voices to be heard. But as she turned to face the festival once more, she saw Jack watching from a distance, his gaze fixed on her with an intensity that sent a shiver down her spine. Something about him still felt off, like there were layers to unravel. Perhaps this was just the beginning of a much larger picture, one that would shape not only her future but everyone's in Maplewood. With newfound determination, Lily felt an urge to delve deeper. What would happen next? As more people crowded around the stage, her phone buzzed with a new message. It was Jack, and it read, I hope you're making the right choice. Time is of the essence. Let me know when you're ready to talk. The weight of her decision suddenly felt heavier than before, and as she caught Jack's eyes again, she knew this was only the beginning. Could she truly harness that momentum for change, or would it all blow up in her face? What would her next step be? Lily's heart raced as she scanned the festival scene, the sounds of laughter and music mixing with her anxiety. She spotted little Sarah, a child she had watched grow up, twirling in her new dress, her laughter ringing out like bells. The innocence of the scene felt so far removed from the dilemma she faced. If only making decisions about Jack and the future of Maplewood were as simple as spinning in a circle. Get it together, Lily, she whispered to herself. This festival was about community, about being together, and she needed to remember that above all else. She took a deep breath, letting the sweet smell of cotton candy and popcorn fill her lungs, grounding her. She was not just a leader, she was a member of this community, of this family. Hey! A voice broke through her thoughts, carrying an infectious enthusiasm. It was Ben, her childhood friend, and the town's unofficial jokester. You look more lost than a dog in a foreign park. What gives? Just thinking about everything, she admitted, trying for a smile. You know, Jack and what he's proposing. Ben arched an eyebrow, his expression shifting to one of concern. Is that guy bothering you? I saw him earlier, and let me tell you, something about him feels off. Feeling grateful for his protectiveness, she nodded. That's just it. He seems charming, but what if he's hiding something? What if he's not here for the right reasons? He's an outsider, Lil. And outsiders can have motives that we don't understand. Ben looked around, his gaze landing on the festival goers. But look at everyone here. They're happy, and it's because of you. You've been their sunshine. His words settled like warm honey on her heart, soothing the edge of doubt. This festival had been a labor of love, and the joy it brought was undeniable. But the future? That was a different story, one riddled with uncertainty. I just want to make the right choice. For Maplewood, she trailed off, feeling the heaviness of her thoughts. That's all anyone wants, right? Just don't lose sight of what we have now. Trust your gut, Ben said, as he gestured toward the stage, where the band played on, more energetic than ever. You've built something here. You can't let someone else sweep in and take it away. With renewed resolve, she returned to the community board. The note had gained interest. Several neighbors had already gathered around, reading it as whispers and nods sparked between familiar faces. It was time. Hey everyone! She called out, her voice steadily rising over the music and chatter. I want to gather together soon to talk about something very important. Curiosity flickered like candle flames among the crowd. It's about the future of our festival and a proposal that could shift everything for us. I'd love your insight. Cheers erupted as people began talking excitedly. This was the first step toward collaboration. But in the back of her mind, Jack's message loomed like a shadow. Time was ticking, and his presence made it clear he wasn't going to step back without a fight. As the evening sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a golden glow over Maplewood, she felt an electric thrill in the air. She needed to act fast but thoughtfully. Choices could either spark a wildfire of change or extinguish the light she had worked so hard to create. Just as she turned to signal Mrs. Thompson, a commotion broke out near the stage. A young girl, no older than 8, had rushed in from the edge of the festival, dragging an elderly woman behind her. The crowd parted, and gasps filled the air. Is she okay? Someone shouted, and panic rippled through the gathering. Lily felt her heart leap into her throat. The chaotic energy pulled her forward as she rushed to assess the scene. What had happened? Every instinct in her urged her to help, to dive into the situation. But as she steadied her heart, she couldn't shake the feeling that this moment a simple act of kindness could hold the key to understanding more than she could imagine. What secrets lay in that encounter? And would it spin the course of her choices in a way she never foresaw? Lily rushed to the fray, her heart pounding in rhythm with the distant bass of the band. The crowd shifted and murmured, a wave of concern rippling through the sea of festival-goers. She knelt beside the elderly woman, who sat on the ground, her face flushed with uncertainty. "Ma'am, are you okay?" Lily asked, her voice steady but tinged with urgency. The woman blinked slowly, her silver hair catching the warm hues of the setting sun. "I'm just a bit overwhelmed, dear," she managed, her voice shaky yet soft. "I wanted to see the festivities but I can't seem to catch my breath." Little Sarah, still gripping the woman's hand, looked up at Lily with wide, innocent eyes. "She's my neighbor, Miss Lily. She got scared when the music got too loud." The determination in the child's voice brought a flicker of reassurance to Lily's chest. "All right, let us get you to a quieter place for a moment," Lily said, her calm demeanor a soothing balm. She helped the woman to her feet, steadying her as they moved away from the crowd, Sarah skipping ahead to find a spot under a nearby oak tree. As they settled down, Lily felt the world shift slightly. The worried murmurs of the crowd faded into the background, replaced by the rustling leaves and gentle laughter from afar. In this small pocket of tranquility, Lily saw strangers becoming friends, concern melting into care. "Thank you, dear. That music, it gets to be too much sometimes," the woman said, allowing a weak smile to form. "I'm Dorothy, by the way." "Nice to meet you, Dorothy," Lily replied, her heart warming with the shared connection. "I'm Lily. What brought you out here today?" "Oh, my husband loved festivals. He used to say there's magic in community," Dorothy explained, her eyes glimmering with nostalgia. "I come out every year to keep his spirit alive, but I guess I'm not as sprightly as I used to be." Lily felt a tug at her heart. Dorothy's words echoed the essence of what she was striving for, yet a pang of sorrow touched her. Magic in community, she whispered, the thought resonating on multiple levels. There's something about a gathering, Dorothy continued, her voice gaining strength. It makes you realize you're part of something bigger, doesn't it? Yes, absolutely. Lily exclaimed. The festival was a testament to that very spirit, pulling everyone together like threads in a tapestry. She shared a smile with Dorothy, one filled with a newfound understanding of connection. Just then, Ben appeared, breathless but concerned. Lily. I was looking for you. I saw that kid run up. I was worried. She's all right, just needed a moment to catch her breath, Lily reassured him, glancing at Dorothy. This is Dorothy. Hi there. Ben said, easing into a smile. You gave us quite a scare. Just a little excitement, that's all. It's good to be amongst friends, Dorothy replied, her voice warmer now, a twinkle in her eye. As they settled into easy conversation, laughter and stories flowed like the drinks being served at the nearby booths. Lily realized that this small encounter was igniting something deep within her. When making a potentially life-changing decision loomed ahead, it was moments like these that clarified her purpose. But just then, from across the festival grounds, she spotted Jack, leaning casually against a booth, his eyes fixed on their gathering. The way he observed, the way he seemed to consider it sent a chill down her spine. What was his plan? Suddenly, a shout broke through the laughter. Help! Somebody, please! Lily's heart dropped. The help they had just offered felt so fleeting. The dread that danced on the edges of her thoughts clenched tighter. She exchanged a worried glance with Ben, and Dorothy's expression turned serious. What now? Ben asked quietly. I don't know, but we need to find out, Lily replied, determination rising within her. She had to protect her community. But what if, in the unfolding chaos, she discovered truths about Jack that could shake everything she thought she knew? With a resolute heart, she stood up, ready to confront whatever lay ahead. But what she didn't expect was the ripple effect this night would have, throwing her deeper into a web of connections and revelations. What hidden agendas danced just out of sight? And who would she trust once reality began to unravel? Lily's pulse raced as she and Ben exchanged anxious glances. The shout had pierced the jovial atmosphere like a blade, sending a ripple of tension through the crowd. Someone needed help, and they couldn't just stand by. Let's go, she said, urgency fueling her steps. The festival, once vibrant and colorful, now blurred in her vision as she strained to figure out the direction from which the voice had come. Ahead, a small crowd had begun to gather, drawn to the source like moths to a flame. Stay close, Ben urged as they maneuvered through the throng of people. The sound of music and laughter seemed muffled, overshadowed by the growing tension. As they pushed their way forward, Lily's instincts kicked in. It wasn't just about helping someone, it was about being part of something larger, making sure the community felt safe together. She finally broke free of the crowd, stepping into a small clearing where panic had taken root. A young boy stood in the center, tears streaming down his cheeks. My sister! He cried, his hands shaking as he pointed toward a cluster of people further away. She fell down. She can't get up. Lily's heart sank. A wave of determination surged through her. Where is she? She asked, kneeling to meet the boy's frightened expression. Over there. He gasped, pointing again, his voice trembling. Ben, help him, Lily instructed swiftly as she took off in the direction the boy had indicated. As she ran, thoughts raced through her mind. Who was this girl? Why hadn't someone else stepped in sooner? She ducked and weaved through the crowd, her mind sharp and focused. When she reached the edge of the gathering, she found a girl, maybe 12 or 13, lying on the ground, her face pale and her body still. Panic gripped Lily's heart. Hey! Can you hear me? Lily crouched down beside her, brushing hair away from the girl's forehead. The girl blinked but didn't respond. Someone call a medic. Lily shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. A few people jumped into action, pulling out their phones and relaying the message. Lily checked for any signs of consciousness. "You're going to be okay. Help is on the way," she reassured the girl, even though she felt her own anxiety rising. "What's your name?" "Emily," the girl finally whispered, her voice barely audible. "Emily, I'm Lily. Just hang in there. You're strong." The minutes felt like an eternity as she kept talking to Emily, her own fears fighting to take over. The crowd surrounding them shifted restlessly, the murmurs of concern growing louder. Finally, 2 medics arrived, pulling through the onlookers like a lifeline. Relief washed over Lily as they began assessing the girl. "She just fainted," one of the medics said with a slight nod. "We need to get her checked out, but she'll be all right." The words floated through the air, wrapping around Lily like a comforting embrace. She breathed deeply, her heart finally beginning to settle. The medics lifted Emily gently onto a stretcher, and the crowd slowly parted to allow them space. "That was amazing, Lily," Ben said, squeezing her shoulder as they stepped back to watch the scene unfold. "You really stepped up." "Yeah," she replied, watching as the medics wheeled Emily away. "I was just doing what needed to be done." But as the adrenaline ebbed, doubt crept in. Why had she felt so compelled to jump in? Was it only her instinct, or was there something deeper at work? Then, scanning the crowd, Lily's eyes caught Jack's gaze once again. He was still leaning against that booth, a knowing look etched on his face, as if he'd watched the entire thing unfold like a calculated game. What did he know? What was he planning? A new wave of resolve surged within her. She wouldn't just leave things as they were. This was just the beginning. Ready to uncover the truth? She murmured to herself, her heart racing with purpose. What secrets lay hidden in the shadows of the festival? And what role would she play in changing the very fabric of her community? Lily stood at the edge of the crowd, her heart still pounding from the chaos she had just navigated. The festival lights twinkled above, but their glow felt faint, overshadowed by something deeper lurking beneath the surface. Jack's watchful gaze anchored her thoughts, and her instincts screamed that he was more than a mere spectator. What did he know about Emily? About the festival? "Let us find a quieter spot to talk," Ben suggested, grabbing her arm gently as he led her away from the crowd. They wandered past a line of food stalls, the savory smells mixing with a hint of crisp autumn air. Eventually, they settled on a bench near a quieter corner of the park where a flickering lantern cast soft light. "You really were incredible back there," Ben said again, sincerity in his eyes. "I don't think I could have handled it as well as you did." Lily managed a smile, though uncertainty gnawed at her. "I was just reacting." "I didn't think," she stopped herself, shaking her head. "It just felt like I had to do something." Silence settled between them as they both contemplated how easily things could turn from joy to crisis. The weight of the moment hung heavily in the air. "Do you think we could have prevented what happened?" Ben asked, drawing her back from her thoughts. "If we were more aware?" Lily considered his words. "Maybe. But we can't always control everything. We can just respond." As she spoke, her gaze drifted back toward the festival. She swore she could still feel Jack's eyes boring into her. It was as if he was a puzzle piece she hadn't yet found, a piece that might unlock a greater mystery. Who was that girl anyway? She wondered aloud. Why did she fall? Maybe she just got overwhelmed, Ben suggested. Festivals can be a lot. But what were you saying earlier, something deeper? I don't know, she said slowly. It feels more complicated than just a fainting spell. You saw how Jack reacted. I can't shake the feeling he knows something. Ben sighed. You think he's behind all this somehow? I don't know. But I'm going to find out. I need to know what's going on with him, with all of this. Just then, a sudden commotion broke their conversation. A group of teens burst through the nearby festival stalls, laughter echoing as they inadvertently knocked over a display of colorful lanterns. They tumbled to the ground, their bright glow dimming as they lay scattered. Lily felt her heart pick up again. We can't just let this happen. Let us help them, Ben said, determination flashing in his eyes. They rushed toward the scene, ready to feel productive again. At the same time, Lily's mind was racing not just about lanterns but the deeper currents of the evening. With Jack seemingly at the center of unanswered questions, the thrill of uncovering the truth pulled at her anchor of worry. After helping to set things right, she caught sight of him again, standing off to the side, arms crossed, still observing. It was as if he was waiting for something, or someone, to act. Ben nudged her, breaking her focus. Are you all right? Yeah. Just I need to do something, she replied with newfound vigor. Like what? Like talk to him. Ben looked between her and Jack, uncertainty crossing his face. Are you sure that's a good idea? It's the only idea I have right now, Lily said firmly. All right, I'll back you up. As they made their way through the crowd toward Jack, each step felt heavy with purpose. Yet, with every beat of her heart, doubt nagged. What would she say? Was she ready to confront whatever Jack had to tell her? The truth lurked just out of reach, tantalizingly close, and fear danced in her mind. Would uncovering it shine a light on something hidden, or could it lead her into darker shadows? What awaited her in Jack's eyes as they finally stood before him? And was she prepared for the answers that might change everything? As Lily and Ben approached Jack, her heart raced with conflicting emotions. Would he be the ally Maplewood needed, or would he prove to be a hidden threat? She tried to gauge his expression, a cool veneer masking whatever thoughts churned beneath. Hi, Jack, she said, trying to sound steady. I wanted to talk. Of course, he replied, his tone calm but curious, as if he had anticipated this moment. You've made quite an impact today, haven't you? Lily felt a surge of determination. About that girl, Emily, why were you watching? You seemed aware that something was going to happen. Jack shifted slightly, his expression hardening for just a moment. I was observing, following the energy of the crowd, he said after a pause, his gaze steady. I'm interested in what you're doing here. Why? Ben interjected, crossing his arms defensively. You think we'll just let you step in and take over? I'm not here to take over, Jack replied sharply, a flicker of annoyance crossing his face. I want to help. People are drawn to you, Lily. They need someone brave, passionate. I see potential in both you and this town. That's the second time you've mentioned potential, Lily said, feeling a rush of defiance. I want to know what that really means. If you care about this community, where were you when things started to fall apart? Jack hesitated, his facade cracking just a bit. Believe me, I didn't expect to return like this. But I grew up here, I have roots, and I want to contribute. Contribute how? Ben asked, now glaring at Jack. By making deals behind our backs? This festival is for us, not some hidden agenda you might have. Enough, Lily interjected firmly, feeling the pull of both sides, her own curiosity battling against a protective instinct for her community. If we're going to work together, you need to be open with us. Name your terms. Jack sighed, glancing over Lily's shoulder toward the festival that buzzed with activity. The laughter of children and families created a bittersweet symphony in her mind, one she fought to keep alive. She needed to stand strong for them all. I have some resources, financial backing that could really help kickstart what you're doing here. Fundraisers, community projects, you name it. But let us be honest, it's not entirely selfless. I believe that if this town thrives, we all benefit, Jack said, his voice smooth but tinged with something deeper. Sounds like a partnership, Ben said, sounding skeptical. But what's the catch? You make it sound too easy. There's no catch, Jack replied, exasperation creeping in. I want to see Maplewood succeed again as much as you do. Lily held her breath. Could they trust him? She thought of Mrs. Thompson, the stories she'd heard, the dreams of a collective spirit. Part of her wanted to dive into this uncharted territory, but another part resisted, wary of old wounds. Fine, she finally said, the words slipping out like a vow. But we want full transparency. No hard deals without the whole town knowing. This isn't just about you or your resources, it's about us, together. If we're going to do this, we do it right. Jack nodded, his expression softening. That's fair. I promise to communicate openly. But you need to understand that time is of the essence. This town needs a push. Do we have a deal? In that moment, the weight of her decision solidified, transforming from a burden into a beacon of hope. Would he follow through, or would she need to prepare for the unexpected? Lily nodded, feeling more confident. Let us do it, but on our terms. As they shook hands, a ripple of energy shifted, as if the unseen threads connecting the community began to strengthen. Suddenly, the festival's music played a triumphant note, bringing a cheer from the crowd. Lily realized she felt lighter somehow, emboldened by this choice. Whatever lay ahead, she was ready to face it head-on, with her community beside her. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over Maplewood, Lily looked back at Ben. The light danced in his reassuring smile, igniting the flame of their shared mission. Now let us get back out there. And show everyone what we can do. She exclaimed, taking the lead once again. Together, they rejoined the festival, finding joy in laughter mingling with new possibilities. The path ahead was uncertain, but their collective spirit surged like wildfire, kindling hope that they could transform their community into something greater than themselves for Emily, for Dorothy, and for every resident of Maplewood. With the whispers of change growing louder, the challenge of their journey began, but Lily was ready. She knew the heart of her town beat strong and true, and together, they would rise. And as they danced together under the stars, the festival buzzed anew with excitement, a renewed sense of purpose, filled with love, laughter, and the undeniable magic of a community coming alive once again. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel not to miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, it truly makes a difference. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending, we want to hear from you.